Good morning this morning. How are you this morning? As I was perusing the news, as I tend to do, I found an interesting article about space industrial base racing to meet growing demand of military satellites, which, to me, just brought to the forefront our general unpreparedness for any sort of military conflict whatsoever. I know we like to say we are, but we are not prepared. But be prepared to hit that like and subscribe as we kind of get into this article and a few others kind of highlighting what I'm saying here. Space industrial base racing to meet growing demand for military satellites after supply chain woes delayed the launch of the Space Development Agency's Tranche 1 satellites. SDA and the Space Industrial Base are working to mitigate risks in future tranches. What the article does, it goes through a number of supply chain issues that they've had in attaining parts, specific parts, and obviously they blame the COOF there for a little bit, but as they go through, they just discuss future issues and how basically our space industrial base leaves a lot to be desired. I'm trying to find that quote. Because of the quantities that he's ordering, he's now starting to uncover the challenges that we have with the industrial base. All these challenges are significant, and we need to figure them out now to get ahead of them. Of course, I'm going to link this. But this just highlighted to me, it's just one more area of our industrial base that we've allowed to atrophy to the point of uselessness in some respects. What I'm going to point out next is something that a number of people have highlighted. This is a story about the U.S. military's great Achilles heel, a shipyard crisis. Aaron over at Subbrief has done a great job, and if you're not listening to Aaron over at Subbrief is the best. He's a former sonar operator on Navy attack submarines. He's the best. And he's been crying out in the wilderness that the Navy has a shipyard issue. A massive, massive shipyard issue. This article, which is a really good article, talks about the issues the U.S. shipbuilding industry is having. It's incredible. I'm going to go through some numbers here momentarily. I wanted to link this on here too. I'm going to put a few of these on here just to kind of buttress my point. Our ability to make land vehicles, tanks, MRAPs, artillery shells has been buttressed by Congress. We have made a considerable effort as we supply Ukraine to buttress that portion of our industrial base. We need a World War II style re-emphasis on our industrial base if we are to keep up with China. This is a confirmed U.S. Navy slide. I found this stunning. Sad, but stunning. Alarming Navy intel slide warns of China's 200 times greater shipbuilding capacity. And this is in 2023. This slide right here is confirmed to be real. Their capacity for shipbuilding, let's go into the numbers here, is 23,250,000 tons versus less than 100,000 tons for the United States. Again, this is from the United States Navy itself. This is their slide. This is their projected fleet capacity. People's Liberation Army Navy Battle Force, 2020, 355 ships. 2025, 395 ships. 2030, 435 ships. 2035, 475 ships. In 2035, 475 vessels versus the United States Navy's 305 to 317. This is the United States Navy. They're the ones saying this. Not Lemon Sour. Not Pat. This is the Navy's own numbers. Because we have allowed to deteriorate, close, sell numerous shipbuilding facilities in the United States. I believe that Subbrief has said there's only about 4 United States naval full-time shipyards. 4. I know for a fact the Chinese have over 11. I know that for a fact. And if I need to look it up and link it to this video, I certainly will. This is incredibly alarming. This is incredibly alarming. Now, given the state of modern missile warfare, this is countered by that a lot, as is our supercarriers. The new age of missile warfare is coming, and large naval vessels are almost obsolete. The submarine and smaller vessels are pretty much the only way to go, in my opinion. This is from the Alliance for American Manufacturing. And this highlights basically the exact same thing that the previous article did, but it does so from a manufacturing point of view. And it does, of course, include the Navy's own analysis. But it also goes into, it discusses a little bit more the cuts in the job market and the loss of skilled labor that's been associated with this. This will take a long time to recover. The lost skills, the lost capacity, and the lost skills. We've lost a generation of shipbuilding skill. A generation. And you don't just get that back. You don't just get that back. Also, is it the best thing to continue to build numerous large naval vessels in the era of missile warfare and soon to be kinetic, high energy laser warfare? Is it even feasible? Is it even reasonable? Other than submarines and small craft. Doctrinally, it seems like the Chinese and the American navies are repositioning themselves for World War II, except with missiles and long-range aircraft, a little bit farther outside of each other's sight, with a little bit of ignorance that ballistic missiles are changing the game. Cruise missiles and ballistic missiles are changing the game. And evidence of that, to a certain extent, is that just a couple days ago, China's 6th generation fighter jet. Now, I am a lot less worried about this than a lot of people are, because I do know for 100% fact, because I personally have seen video, that is, it has to be over 10 years old now. I personally have seen video of a formation of aircraft similar in shape to this, flying over the central United States, spotted by plane spotters, and their chatter was recorded on aircraft radio frequencies. So I'm not too worried about them being ahead in aircraft technology yet. But they are going to be if we don't consider our industrial base a number one priority for preparation for war. Now, I want peace. This is always I'm a peace guy. But that's a threat. Peace through strength. Peace through strength. I do not want to see the United States Navy fighting numbers like this. I'm from a Navy family. It was so beautiful, the defeat of Army this year. I'm from a Navy family. And to see that our Navy could be so outgunned is alarming. And then to think that that's just the Navy. Now we're experiencing this kind of thing with space. Are we experiencing the same thing with aircraft? I think there has to be a complete rethink of what is our mission with our military. That mission will require an industrial base to support it. I think doctrinally, we need to be thinking outside the box. There's 1.5 billion Chinese. There's not that many Americans. We need to think outside the box. But seeing that our industrial base is behind China's in a major way is not how we want to enter the next era. But I'll be sure that everything in this is linked. Everything. Every article that I cite here. Do your own research. You'll find that what I'm saying is I'm actually kind of understating it. We have a major problem. Our logistics are lacking. And we will not survive if we don't fix them. But for now, that's all I got. I do appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by.